Good evening. So, actually, today, the importance of current affairs in the UPSC at every stages, coming to prelims based or mains based, not even like it is not an exception in the interview too. Okay, so actually, when coming to prelims, actually, it's like even though directly the questions may not be framed according to the direct newspaper, but sometimes, 22, 21, and 2020, 2020, 2019, in these years, we have witnessed more current affairs based questions. Like they have been like a mixed approach, static based and also like current affairs based on some current affairs, the UPSC is maintaining a trend such that current affairs questions and with the static part. So accordingly what we started this program like MCQs based on the Hindu, so that both we shall see what the current affair and in which paper it will be covered, and also we shall try to predict may according to the UPSC. Based on that article we shall try to frame the question and we try to solve the question also, okay, with details. So today 10th January, so we shall see what today's main important articles from today's paper, and on that basis we shall try to frame some questions and try to decode those questions. Okay, so the first article what I have chose is like it's from actually page number 6. It's like from editorial, that is growth concerns. Growth concerns what we shall see now what this article is talking about. This article is talking about that actually NSO, this is National Statistic Office, actually National Statistic Office. This is the body which compiles every year GDP, gross domestic product, every year. A country's this is the measure of economy, a particular economy's situation, and also this also this NSO also gives like predictions also about next coming years, the GDP levels of a country, and the growth forecasts. Growth is like compared to last year, how much the GDP has been increased in this year. That is what we represent as growth. Okay, even growth forecasts and GDP projections will also be given by this National Statistics Office. Okay. And in this context actually what this article is talking about, that actually recently NSO has forecasted the current GDP's growth, which is like more than last year, and March 2022 the projections are like given, it's a 9.2% expansion compared to last year. That is, it lies at something around 147 crores. Okay, so on that basis, what the author is trying to criticize here, that when the and remember that this is based on real GDP prices, real GDP prices. So on that basis, the author is trying to criticize this growth projections by NSO, that NSO what the growth projections has been projected by NSO, that it did not take into calculation about the pandemic induced what pandemic induced restrictions or government restrictions, whatever the Omicron. Presently, you know how Omicron cases are rising day by day, and these projections, these forecasts has not been taken into calculation while the GDP forecasts or growth forecasts have been done by NSO. That is what this article is talking about. You need to remember when coming to mains or interview perspective, When coming to interview perspective, you will be asked like what you are thinking about this. So what will be the projections? What are the schemes there for the government of India in order to give a push to the economy, especially when now Omicron cases are been on rise actually. This type of questions will be framed in interview. And when coming to mains questions, obviously what, why, how, like that, instead of those type of questions, more mains perspective will be on basis of which includes the statistics, and also the questions based on the way forward and what are the schemes there for in India in order to give a push, and also like what is your stand regarding the basis of this NSO forecast. And now we shall see how the UPSC may try to frame the question. On that basis, I have framed a question actually. If you have observed carefully, I have used the word real GDP calculation. Why? Because NSO has this growth projected on the basis of real GDP prices actually. So on that context, now we shall see this question. Consider the following statements. Real GDP is based on current affairs, current prices. I'm sorry. Nominal GDP is calculated after adjusting to inflation. Whenever UPSC frames this type of questions, you need to clearly and get clarity over the statements actually, because like these are the statements which UPSC will try to trick you actually. So before, like, this is a question such that this is like a very basic question, and basics of actually this comes under GS3 economy part. Okay, so these are like very basic questions, and here I have tricked like this real GDP, instead of putting a nominal GDP, real GDP, I have changed the sentences actually. This comes under real GDP, this is like nominal GDP. Whenever GDP is calculated at the current year or at the current year's prices, we call it as nominal GDP. And when nominal GDP is adjusted to the inflation, based on base year, then we call it as real GDP. Okay, so actually this is what we have to understand here, how I have reversed these statements. You need to observe. Why? Because if you observe the UPSC trends now, these type of most this tricky questions have been framed by UPSC. So I'm even trying to give you the UPSC perspective also. So just try to understand and try to evaluate the options. Then only we can clearly, with confidence, we can put the correct answers actually. So actually, now these both statements are false actually. Real GDP is like after adjusting to inflation, and nominal GDP is based on current prices. So here one more point I just want to clear you, that real GDP, while adjusting to inflation, this base year is like presently NSO is taking 2011 to 12 prices. Then only we clearly come to know the growth projections of GDP actually. Why? Because whenever inflation, like we know inflation happens every year. So if we take these calculations, every year our GDP will be like more numbers. It will give a false implication of growth of an economy. So that is the reason why economists, whenever they try to project the growth of a particular nation, they will try to get adjusted with inflation on the basis of this base year. So that will give the true growth and true progress of a particular nation. So both are false actually. So which of the following statements are true here asking? So none is the right answer. Okay, I hope this is this you understood and this is clear for you. And coming to second article, actually, some Raj Bhavans are on the war path, actually. Okay, so this question is like, and this is also, I frame this from editorial page, I took it, that is page number 6, and this also page number, and this will be covered in GS2, that is like constitutional provisions, polity part of your constitutional provisions, polity part of your GS2, actually. So here you know the article, it is implying that Raj Bhavans are on the war of path, actually. What actually, if you read this statement, the governor must be mindful of being a friend and a guide to his government, more so in opposition ruled states. What author is trying to say here is like, the governors, first of all, before, so also remember that whenever you are reading any article from the Hindu or any other paper, first of all you need to have a clarity over the topic. What are the basics and background, and if any court judgments are there earlier, what are those court judgments, and if any legislations are there, what are the provisions of those legislations. And also, like, if whenever polity related articles are coming in the paper, you need to have clarity over the articles also, articles, and that too they are in detail. Okay, so here what are the author is trying to say that, and recently we have seen the mishappenings in Maharashtra or Kerala and some other opposition ruled states. Actually, opposition ruled states, it is like in the center BJP is there, and this Maharashtra and Kerala, where other than this BJP, the parties are there in the power. These such type of states, or we call it as like opposition ruled states, actually. So when governor, according to article 143 of Indian Constitution, says that there should be a governor to every state, actually, to the state. So what it implies that what it implies is like governor is appointed by the president of India. That is like a sure statement. And whenever he is appointed by the president, what it means, it means that governor will, he will come under the implications of president, and he will also be influenced by center's provisions and also presidential provisions, actually. So clearly we can what we will understand from this statement, or from this appointment of governor, we come to know that whenever opposition ruled states are there, generally it is the common tendency that governor of that particular state and the government of that particular state, the public policies and the government decisions will come under controversy. And this is what we are recently seeing in Maharashtra and Kerala, etc. And earlier also in 2020 and 2019, we clearly witnessed how Lieutenant Governor of New Delhi come under the influence of president, how he is repeatedly become a hurdle for the implementation of that Arvind Kejriwal government policies and all. That this is like, this also comes under federalistic provisions, actually. What author is trying to say here is that, and a governor, though he is appointed by president, he should not come under the influence of the center. Instead, according to the articles of Indian Constitution, he should act as a guide and also as a friend to the particular state government where he is appointed. Even there are the Sarkaria Commission recommendation, Poonchi Commission recommendations are there, where they are recommended that, so in order to have some giving importance to the state governments and both the constitutional head governor, they have recommended that whenever president is appointing the governor to a particular state, he should take the consultation from the state government also. So so that they both will work with harmony, and the state's policies will be implemented softly and in a harmonious way. That is what the author is trying to put up here. So he is bringing some context over here, how the issues or clashes being happened in Maharashtra or Kerala, where governor and the ruling states or ruling governments in those particular states, how they are in controversy, etc. So you just try to read that article and also try to frame the provisions which are in controversy to federalistic provisions and also constitutional provisions of governor. Okay. So on that basis, we shall see now a question regarding that. Okay. Consider the following statements about governor. Governor to a particular state can be appointed by a president only after consultation with the state chief minister. Actually, this is false. Why? Because this is, what to say, this is just a recommendation posed by or given by Sarkaria Committee. Actually, if you see 2019 paper and 2020 paper, these are the questions like which committee has recommended the president's consultation with the state's chief minister whenever governor be appointed by the president. Okay, Sarkaria Committee, Poonchi Committee, Rajmannar Committee, etc. He will asked, and the questions will be framed. So on that basis, I have tried to put this question, so I can bring both the provisions of the constitution and also the committee recommendations. I try to put in such a way that both will be covered. Okay, these are like Sarkaria Committee recommendations and also Poonchi Commission recommendation. You need to remember these recommendations also, like whenever mains question is asked, you need to put up these points as like a way forward. Like it is like high time in order to implement Poonchi Commission and Sarkaria Committee recommendations whenever the governor being appointed by the president. Okay, to the state chief minister for the proper working and in order to have proper competitive and cooperative federalism between center and the states, this governor plays a very crucial role actually. So that would be your main way forward whenever coming to the ensuring harmonious federalism in India. Okay, so first statement is actually wrong. Constitution is saying that president appoints the governor. That is the only thing. So definitely consultation or acceptance of state chief minister, it is not mandatory. The governor shall hold office during the pleasure of the president. Yes, this is true actually. So you need to also read the statement also. So here I have tried to put this not true actually, because frequently UPSC tries to trick you that give easy options, and he will trick you here by giving not or some other kind of exception clauses, etc. So you need to the problem comes whenever the question is easy actually. Okay, so this is like most easy article. Why? Because everyone knows this is false and this is true. So when the question is asking about not true, so A one only is not true and B two option is true. Okay, so I have this article is clear for you, and this is not like a current affairs article. This is like your MCQ session. So just try to read those articles also. This is like very important article, control rather than privacy. You know, this person is a lawyer in the Supreme Court and also this state spokesperson of Indian National Congress. And you know, recently the data protection bill, the article is all over regarding the data protection bill actually. So recently the data protection bill has been placed before the Joint Parliamentary Committee, and Joint Parliamentary Committee, that is JPC, has tried to put that provisions. The article main emphasis that instead of this giving clarity over the data protection bill, the provisions which are controversial, the Joint Parliament Committee, after the discussions, instead of solving these problems, the further questions has been raised, and further questions have been brought up by companies and various sections of the society. That is what other wants to try to address this actually. So here he is saying that how this data protection bill or joint parliamentary committee has recommended that or told that to include personal data protection bill and also non-personal data protection bill, those provisions to be mixed up in this provision in this data protection bill, and how this clause 12 or clause 35, how they are giving indefinite powers to the governments and government agencies, and gives a blanket protection from the data protection bill. These problems have been addressed in this article. So just try to read this article and also read that here some statistics also have been provided by the author. And if a personal data protection bill also if included in this personal data protection bill, and if data localization also applies to this non-personal data also, then the especially MSME sector, manufacturing sector will adversely get affected, and this will in turn affect the country's economy, and the GDP will fall by some 0.7 to 1.7% that have been given that have been based on some reports, and these has been addressed by this author here. So what you will do, judgments regarding this privacy, before knowing something about this data protection bill, some of the terminology you should have clarity over this is what exactly data, what is personal data and what is non-personal data, and data principle, data fiduciary, data localization, data transfer. These you need to have get clarity over, and before reading this article you need to know about data protection bill provisions, and also Puttaswamy verdict, that you need to first have clarity over this and then read this article, and then try to frame a paragraph based on your views. Okay, so most of the questions will be asked in interview about your opinions only, and even mains also the questions will be framed in such a way. Okay, so I hope this is clear for you. You need to read this article in detail, then you will have clarity over this. So on that note, I will move to article a question based on this article. Which of the following committees is related to non-personal data? So I told that data has been classified into like personal data and non-personal data. Personal data, it is like whenever the data is revealing about a particular person's details, then we call it as like personal data. Whenever like data is not it is about a community or a group as a whole, if without revealing the identity of a person, that we call it as non-personal data. So my name, my address, etc., that we call it as like personal data. And non-personal data like my Zomato orders or my Flipkart orders, this such type of data is like that is group data or community data as a whole, and that will not reveal our identity. Such type of data we call it as non-personal data. And government has appointed after Puttaswamy verdict for personal data Justice B.M. Sri Krishna committee. And when coming to non-personal data, Chris Gopalakrishnan, and he was like Infosys co-founder actually. So government has appointed these two committees for in order to have some clarity over data protection bill and also to frame. And what government is currently trying to put is like to include both data protection bill like personal data and also non-personal data. If non-personal data is also included in personal data protection bill actually, then manufacturing industries, especially MSME sector, will get adversely affected, and that is what author tried to put up here, and also try to address some of the provisions there. So just try to read that article and get clarity over that. Okay. So center is yet to notify rules of Citizenship Amendment Act. January 9th was the last day of the third extended deadline actually. So, in 2020 actually, the Citizenship Amendment Act has been passed by the central government, that is Citizenship Act of 1955. Amendment Act has been passed, which gives non-Muslim community from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan, they can get provisions into India, the provisions which are there for the acquisition of citizenship in India, that has been reduced from 11 years to 5 years, and the deadline also been mentioned by the government also in Citizenship Amendment Act of 2020 actually. So on that basis, this article is more witnessing or emphasizing more on Citizenship Amendment Act, regarding that center is yet to, it is in future or in the coming days, it will give a clarity over and rules over the citizenship provisions for non-Muslim communities from these Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan, like Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Christians and Jains communities will have the citizenship provisions of India with just 5 years staying in India. That is what the amendment is all about, and this is most important provisions also. So this is from last 1 to 2 years, continuously this article was there on the newspaper, in somehow or the other way, and even NRC, also National Register of Citizenship, through that provisions also this article is in the newspaper. So just have clarity over the Citizenship Amendment Act, and also try to read this article, and you will come to know what the rules that have been framed by center and what it is yet to do also. Okay, on that basis I have framed a question. So here see that Part 2 of Indian Constitution deals with the acquisition and renunciation of Indian citizen. Most of you, I don't say 100 out of 100%, but most of you might get confused and say that this is true statement. But don't try to get tricked by UPSC. Actually, this is a false statement. Why? Because in Part 2 of Indian Constitution, nowhere Indian Constitution has mentioned about the ways or procedures of acquisition and renunciation of Indian citizenship. Just it has given that responsibility to frame the procedures of acquisition and renunciation of Indian citizenship to the Parliament. Okay, on that basis, the Parliament has passed Citizenship Act of 1955. Okay, earlier also when I was discussing that article, I told you that Citizenship Amendment Act has been passed by amending Citizenship Act of 1955 provisions. This is a legislation framed by the centre. Okay, but this is nowhere mentioned in Indian Constitution. Okay, this is the most a tricked part. Okay, question. And only the center can make provisions regarding the citizenship provisions in India. Yes, true. States cannot have the authority of changing the citizenship provisions of India. Only the Parliament has this authority or responsibility, or whatever we call the word, but it has that provisions regarding citizenship in India. That responsibility or authority is there with the center only, or the Parliament. Okay, so first statement is wrong and second statement is true, so B is the right answer. Now coming to the last article for day. So this one is Rafale M compatibility with aircraft carrier to be tested. So this has been IGS-3 import. Actually, this is science and technology advancements. This is very important article. from science and technology, we shall see most of the questions like this kind of technology developments or technology import from other nations. We will see most of the questions of UPSC or in the style of like from which nation or the technology with the country support, what are the provisions there, and the compatibility of those particular machines or weapons or technology, whatever. So this type, I think recently Rafael M. This actually we are taking this technology or importing this from France nation actually. Dassault, this is the manufacturer of French nation, Dassault Aviation Force. We are importing this Rafale fighter jets from French, and recently we got some Rafale fighter jets, and that government is now trying to test this Rafale M compatibility with our indigenous Vikrant actually. These are Vikrant aircraft carriers. Now they are testing and having checking the compatibility comparing to our Vikrant fighter jets or Vikrant carriers actually aircraft carriers and Rafale M being tested by the center. So that's why this article has been appeared. And if you have seen this yesterday mains paper, the technology comparison has been we have seen from science and technology. So UPSC is trying to change the trends of asking the questions both in the prelims and mains. So according to the changing trends of UPSC, we also need to get updated with the questions both from MCQs section of prelims and also this comprehensive based questions from mains also. So how the question we can expect is like Rafael M recently seen in the news is the technology from which nation? So answer is like B, France. Okay, so that is from Dassault. Uh, Dassault manufacturers of France nation, and recently we got the import of these Rafale fighter jets actually. So these are the types of questions we can see in the prelims based on the current affairs. So thank you actually, and thank you for your time. And if you like this video, do share, comment. Thank you.